Hello, welcome to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. If this is your first time, it's likely that it is because there's only been a couple videos made. So this is a new channel. I really appreciate you checking it out. And I want to get right into something you can use in your guitar life. But then these first few videos, maybe at the end, we'll talk a little bit about how you can have an interactive role in this and leave comments and ask for specific information or ask questions or whatever. But one of my goals with this was to really kind of get down to the nuts and bolts of it pretty quickly, and that's part of my vision for this channel, right? Is to not have quite as much explanation about a lot of things and more straightforward demonstrations of what you can do. So I do need feedback from you at some point, though, to say, hey, I need you to back up, and I'm not sure about the chords, so how am I supposed to play to improvise over those chords? Well, I need to know that if that's your situation. And then, I might be able to help you myself, or you might be able to go to another part of YouTube and get that information, and then come back to this channel. So let me give you an example of what this method is like, and you let me know how it goes. Okay, thank you. I'm going to zoom in here in a few minutes, but for now I'm going to hopefully you can see well enough I have to still experiment with this a little bit. Do a little bit of talking, and then I'm going to go right into just the demonstration part. But this lesson is going to be on improvising over a minor sound. No need to analyze theoretically why it's minor and so on and so forth. It's just the stuff that you see all the time in popular music and things that are probably already in your mind that maybe you haven't been able to connect to actually playing. With that sound and that kind of movable chord, right? Now, when you hear that, most guitarists, one thing that we learn early on and that we kind of know right away is going to work with that is the old scale, right? Or more simply stated, right? And that's great. You've probably done that. Many of you have done that. You get a chord going either on a backing track or somebody else playing. Right? That's good stuff. People have done brilliant things just using that. So don't just I got to learn something else. That's too simple. That's maybe let yourself go a little bit. Put a few bends in there with that, and do some other add some other good elements of repetition and things, sort of things that we're going to show you. Even just a little bit of backing up and back and forth and bends and stuff can go a long way. Right? That's still all just within that. Okay. Use whatever fingers and stuff you want when you're playing. That's one thing about this channel is I'm not going to say put this finger on this fret of this string. And it's just, I understand the need for that in some cases, but boy, that can get really tedious, and boring. So get that scale down. It's called the minor pentatonic scale. and really just warm up on that. Get that chord going. Now, and I know that's for many of you that's a lot. That all that bending and this and that. It's just an example. Don't worry about trying to back up what I just did there and copy that, right? You can, but it'd probably be better use of your time to just use your own sensibilities applied to that information. The information is this chord, this scale works good with it. Okay. Now, that could be a lesson right there. You could say, hey, do that and come back in a couple of days. All right. Maybe you've already been doing that though. So let me give you one more little piece to think about and to work in there. Then come back in a couple of days, leave some comments, and together we'll decide where we need to go, right? The next idea is this working in with the scale. Is notes that are basically notes in the chord, but kind of breaking them up. And this is a little more, this can get convoluted really quick if you try to explain it too much. So I'm gonna play it a little bit of it, and then we're gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna show you some stuff at a speed that hopefully you can just kind of hear it. You can watch and follow along, but more than anything, listen for the notes. Right. So if I really slow that down and give you time to take your guitar and echo that, you can tell by your ear what those notes are and where they are on your instrument. Right, I don't need to say, put your third finger on the seventh fret. We don't need to do all that. And make sure you're listening. Right, now you got some sweet little notes in there when you're playing that when you start mixing that in and really emphasizing those. This note is the namesake of the chord. It's an octave of A minor, in this case, A. So we know that note's gonna work. The little bit sweeter ones, right, that's also an octave, the note A, because these two strings are the same. Right. So, and yeah, if you just notice, if you just said to yourself, well, those are in that scale. Exactly. But having a sort of hey, I'm crossing a creek here, and this is where the rocks are that I'm going to land on, or whatever, right? You make that little plan before you do it, before you step in there, right? Maybe the bridge goes, maybe it's a well-made bridge. Yeah, okay. Doesn't take a whole lot of creativity. Just cross it. Hey, break that up. Maybe there's something like I got to step over here, somewhere I got to step over there. Well, those are your scale tones, or your chord tones, rather. Okay. Our ear has a tendency sometimes to always try to get back to that root sound. That's okay. But challenge yourself to land in other places. Right? Okay. Now, still a little square. Yeah. Work your bends in there. Okay. Maybe at first don't worry about the power bending and the, stuff you can only do for 60 seconds, and then your hand feels like it's, going to fall off, and don't worry about all that right now. Just give some of them a little like that. That was kind of more of a blues type lick. All right, now I'm going to zoom in here, play this chord. We're just working on one chord today. This is a one chord jam. And then do a little bit of improvising over it. All right. Thank you. And please do leave comments. I won't come back at the end of this. The demonstration will be the end of this video.